Israeli defense forces are ready to move into the last major Hamas stronghold, the city of Rafah. The military says it will go ahead as soon as the government gives the order.
And here in the United States, anti-Israel protests are still spreading on college campuses. USC even canceled its main graduation ceremony because of security issues. Still, Christians are standing with the Jewish state. Chris Mitchell has the latest.
Israel is prepared to go ahead with its plans to take out Hamas in Rafah, despite the disapproval of the Biden administration. Israel is setting up thousands of tents before the military action to provide a sanctuary to keep civilians out of harm's way. The operation also aims to rescue the remaining hostages.
133 hostages are still being held by Hamas in Gaza for over 200 days in inhumane conditions. Until Hamas releases our hostages, the IDF will continue to pursue Hamas everywhere in Gaza. This is an urgent call for action. We will leave no stone unturned in our efforts to find our hostages.
President Biden and the leaders of 17 other nations with hostages in the hands of Hamas have issued a joint statement. It calls on Hamas to accept a ceasefire deal that would see the hostages freed. And on Israel's northern border, the IDF is involved in significant battles with Hezbollah. This week, Israel hit Hezbollah with dozens of airstrikes. Israel's defense minister says over the course of the war, Israel has killed many of Hezbollah's top people.
Half of the Hezbollah commanders in southern Lebanon have been eliminated. These are the people who were responsible for the offensive actions, the will to harm the citizens of the State of Israel.
In the U.S., administrators are still dealing with the pro-Palestinian protests on college campuses, which are sometimes anti-Semitic and pro-Hamas. One driving factor in young people's anti-Israel sentiment appears to be online videos like those on TikTok. Virginia Senator Mark Warner spoke with CBN News about how those posts overwhelmingly favor the Palestinians.
There's been independent analysis done that shows on TikTok the amount of pro-Palestinian posts are 54-1 over pro-Israel posts. Now, acknowledge American youth might be split 80-20 pro-Palestinian, but they're not split 54-1.
But Christians are showing their support for Israel. Worship leader Sean Foyt and other Christians gathered to march near the Columbia University campus Thursday evening. Foyt told CBN's Billy Hollowell they chose that location because that's where the campus protest movement started before spreading across the country.
So we want to go to the heart of where this all began and say enough is enough. We are rising up. We're coming to bring the light. We're coming to say we're not going to be pushed around, and we're going to join with our Jewish brothers and sisters.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, here's a story you may not have heard. You know about the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, that food delivery is being hindered, and somehow or other in the news media that's always pointed back to Israel, that somehow Israel's at fault here and they're the ones responsible. Well, that's not the case at all. They're trying to build a pier so that shipments of food can get to the people of Gaza. And in that, who started shelling the very people who are building the pier? Well, it was Hamas. They were firing mortars at them. And so now the IDF is stepping up and saying, we will provide protection for the people that are building the pier. And that's protection for us. That's protection for the U.S. Army. They're the ones who've been tasked with the job of building that so that food supplies can get to the people of Gaza. In this whole conflict, please do not let truth get put on its head. The entire analysis is backward. Israel is not at fault here. They were attacked by a terror organization that currently runs Gaza. That terror organization needs to be completely dismantled. If you want peace there, if you want to protect the innocent civilians there, Hamas is the problem. Hamas has to unconditionally surrender. Hamas has to release every single hostages, including there are American citizens in those tunnels. There are American hostages there. All of that needs to be released. They need to lay down their arms and vow we'll never attack Israel again. If that happens, then there will absolutely be peace. And there will be not just a ceasefire, there will be a lasting peace. That's what we need to have happen. And that's where all the pressure needs to be put. It needs to be put on Hamas and any country, any individual, any group that is providing funding for Hamas. It all needs to stop and stop right now.